Okay, I should be live. So we should be good. Let me go here. Okay. So we should be live right about now. We were looking to trade the London session. So should be good. I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to take this out too. Okay. So, hi everybody. Welcome back to Sniper Gains. I'm just going to go and recap what we've done so far. Now, if we go to our Topstep X, you'll see that we took a trade earlier on CE that resulted in a loss of $140.97 during the Asia session. It's a bummer, but I have at least $150 that I can use to trade either the London session or the New York session. So took a look at Forex Factory just to cover my butt, and I'm seeing that there's no US Red Folder news event, right? So at this moment in time, I shouldn't be catching any surprises, but we'll see what happens, okay? So with that being said, we're going to close that off. We're going to go to Trading View, look at some setups that I'm looking at that have a good chance of using the CRT. So we're going to take a look at gold. Gold has been on a tear, as you've seen right here. 94.2 points is insane. So what has happened right now is it looks like it's going to perform a bullish CRT model with the momentum that gold is on. I'm basically looking to see if I can catch a clean trade upwards. Now, the only issue that I have is it might be exhausted a little bit, so I don't know if this setup will still continue. But you never know. With gold, it always pushes up these days. So we'll see what happens, man. But with everything said, I'm hoping that the stream quality is good. And I'm also going to check, make sure everything's good. Type in I'm an Ian trader who currently trades the CRT model. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have that going. Now I'm going to be taking a quick pause. I just want to see the stream quality on the phone just to make sure that it's good and just to see that we're not, repeating the like any kind of bad audio or anything like that. So paying attention to this is going to be important. So give me just a few minutes and I will be right back. Okay, I'm gonna test it out. I think unfortunately it's gonna be peaking, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I just don't have enough time to make it work. So we're just gonna test this out, see if gold's gonna provide us with a clean setup. So I'm just gonna be taking a look at this. Let me go here and I'm gonna click on this just to see to make it work. So we just want to test this out, see if Gold's going to provide us with a clean setup. So I'm just going to be taking a look at this. Let me go here and I'm going to click on this just to see. Okay, I'm going to test it out. I think unfortunately it's going to be peaking, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I just don't have enough time to make it work. So we just want to test this out, see if Gold's going to provide us with a clean setup. So I'm just going to be taking a look at this. Let me go here and I'm going to click on this just to see. Okay, so let's see what opportunities are available. So as you can see, gold is still ripping going up. So in this sequence, we may not have an opportunity to go long using the CRT model. Oh, my version of the CRT model. That's like the better way of saying it. So with this being said, we just want to keep taking a look, see what else we have in the other tickers. So taking a look, seeing what we got. This is the 6E that we recently took this morning. You'll probably see it right here. I mean this morning and like late in the Asia session. So kind of recap what happened is we got in over here. It went about 75% to the target and then it decided to drop and then go to the target, which was very frustrating. It is what it is. So right now I have 150 bucks to spend before I have to close the session or the trade down until the next Asia session. So as gold is pushing up, I'm going to try to see if silver has an opportunity that I can take advantage of. Because as of right now, it appears that gold is just going to keep going higher, and silver has a tendency to follow gold in terms of price action. But I'm hoping it'll give me, man, something where I can enter. But unfortunately, no entry for my model yet. So we'll just keep an eye on silver. Let me go to micro silver. Just want to click that. And then we're going to go to the hourly. I'm going to change the settings here. So remove drawing. Because it has the structure that I'm looking for, but does not give me my fair value gap, which I need in order to enter the trade. Or actually, maybe it's peaking from here. Technically, let me double check and see. So let me take a look. Take a look. See what's going on. Any entry at all? Let me see. With this one, technically, I wouldn't really call it a fair value gap. Not in this case, so I'm just going to move this here. Hopefully it's not peaking, guys, but can't really tell. If it is peaking, let me know because it will make it a lot easier as I'm doing this. But yeah, I did not see any fair value gap over here or a clean fair value gap that I can take advantage of. So I'm going to have to pass on it, unfortunately. and gold is about to sweep, so we'll probably won't get a opportunity with gold. That's the one thing I don't like sometimes is that gold is just not, playing fair at the moment. Let's put it that way. So my last hope is most likely going to be copper. Hopefully, in the next hour, it'll form, or the next 2 hours, it can form a nice little sequence that I can use to drive price higher. Because sometimes copper takes some time to catch up. And in this case, it swept this hourly candle, but I didn't feel too comfortable entering that just because it's about, I didn't really know. But finally, copper is starting to wake up, which is good. So there's probably going to be a good opportunity, maybe in an hour or two on copper, hopefully. But as of silver or micro silver, SIL, we're not seeing anything yet that is a clean setup. As of right now, it's going up, but there's no entry. So I just want to just keep hunting and seeing if there's any setups I can present, but I really don't think it will. So here we go. Yep, it's about to go all the way through. Yep, there it is, and there it is. So yeah, it forms now the fair value gap, but the problem is it's about to go and fill, unfortunately. Yeah, this is one of those times where it feels very frustrating because I don't want to be breaking my rules. And but sometimes gold and really makes it hard because it's about to form this fair value gap, right? But in just like a few minutes, it's gonna take it out, which means I can't even enter the play. That is a little bit frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So we're gonna go here and just gonna take a look, see if I can find anything else on the other tickers. So I'm gonna take a look at the euro again. Now the good news about the euro is it has started its bearish. Well, it is starting to show bearish momentum going downwards, which is good because there should be an opportunity for me to see a CRT model, but this time on the bearish side of things. However, that's going to take a few hours for it to do its thing. So what I will be doing is I'm going to be navigating, taking a look at NQ. NQ, I don't know why it's not pushing higher. It should, but it's just not. So we'll just keep an eye on it. The one that is catching my interest is definitely copper. So let's just say right now it's 7:28 or 8:28 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm anticipating in the next few hours it'll hopefully create a CRT model that I can use to push price higher. That would be really, really, really cool. So just kind of remove the drawings here, and I'm going to be taking a look at a few things, make sure everything is good, and we'll take a look at what the trades are doing. wonder it's not doing so well. Come on, man. All right, we're going to test the audio again. And hopefully, right now, it's not peaking because I'm actually talking in my normal voice. But for some reason, the system keeps peaking. And I trying to figure out what are the perfect settings for it not to peak. Put on my limiters. I've put on my compressors. I don't want it to keep peaking as much as it has been, but at the moment it's kind of hard to tell. So I'm gonna keep working on that because my Asia stream was very clear, man. I really thought that it would translate over to this one, but at the moment it's just not as clear as much as it should be. So I'm gonna have to go and do a lot of work, try to figure out why. But here's the next test. Just let me know how it sounds. And I'm going to take a look at my phone, make sure everything's good. And then we'll just resume the trading. Okay, so we're back. I think that the audio should be good. We're going to do it for a little bit of time, but then we'll come back and see what's up. So, anyway, I know I've been having some technical audio difficulties, but I'm hoping that now all of that stuff is done and we can now focus on the charts. So, it should be good. Still take a look at gold. Now, hopefully, this is a red candle. To be honest, that would be really nice because it can give me an opportunity to kind of buy the dip and push up using my CRT model. But the way it's going, I just have to see. Now, my big concern is right here. So these dots that you see, they're known as the bullish SAR dots. Now, the problem is when it keeps going up like this, even though it has bullish momentum, as the candles come closer and closer and closer to it, there's a good chance that it will flip from a bullish to a bearish momentum, which would suck. So my hope is that even if this is going to be my next accumulation candle, that the next manipulation candle, which should be around 9, sweeps this but closes upwards and gives me at least a nice fair value gap to kind of continue this trend. Gold at least has one advantage. Whenever it kind of peaks above 50 points, it tends to hold that momentum for a really long time. That's what I've noticed while trading gold. And right here, I'm gonna draw my vertical lines. So if in case you wonder what I'm doing, is this is part of my CRT model. So the way it works is just trying to see what was like an okay CRT model, even without getting too technical. So let's just say we have something like this, right? And we were to go and replay. Bam. This would be candle 1, which I would call the accumulation candle. This is candle 2, which is I call the manipulation candle. And then candle 3 and beyond would be the distribution. So it's distributing upwards. Now, the way we do it is we'd want to put on these vertical lines. So this would signify the accumulation hour. This would be the manipulation hour. And anything past this would be the distribution hour. So whatever I choose as my accumulation hour, I will always draw these two vertical lines the next hour over to be my manipulation hour. So within this segment is where I'd look for a fair value gap, or 5-minute fair value gap. So we'll go to the 5-minute. I'm going to zoom in. Now, in this case, it did have a fair value gap right about here. Right about here. Now, I wouldn't take this trade because I always need a risk to reward of at least a 2 and above. But the idea is when it forms that fair value gap, it needs to fill that fair value gap. And in order for that to happen, we have to make sure that by 10:55, or in this case, 1:55, it has either at least closed above this, which it did, and when it leaves a fair value gap, it can enter in the manipulation hour or in the distribution hour. In this sequence, it formed the fair value gap in the manipulation hour, filled it, and still closed above. So usually, sometimes I might jump the gun a little bit. Usually I try not to, because I might not want to miss that push up. But ideally, I need to be able to wait for 9:55, or what am I saying 9:55? 1:55 to form and then enter the trade. Now, in this case, it wouldn't have worked because it was only a 1.12 R, but that's kind of like the concept. Would be targeting the top of the accumulation hour. So we're trying to see if we can get something like this, but with a better risk to reward. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do. So we're going to remove the drawings. We're going to exit the replay mode. And now we're going to go back to the hourly, see if there's anything on gold. Because the way gold is setting up, it's looking like it wants to sweep all the buy orders that are over here. Now, I don't know if it will sweep to keep pushing up. There's a good chance it will, or just to actually exhaust and just plummet down. That's the scary part. So I just have to see what happens. Just want to keep it in mind. I'm just gonna keep monitoring it, seeing what it's doing. So we have about 20 minutes until the next hour. So that's going to be where I'm going to focus my attention on. HG, again, I really am a fan of copper because by trading copper, I typically get really, really good risk to reward setups that I can capitalize on. So I just have to wait for the next hour. The next hour will most likely push past this, so would have to wait maybe 2 hours to get a good setup on copper. But on gold, that might take about just an hour. So we'll be eyeing both. Here on 6E, it's going down. So I ideally want to see a setup where it sweeps the top or the buy side liquidity, and then we can take that as an entry point to go all the way down. So that covers that. NQ is in a weird spot. It has bullish momentum, but it's still underneath the 50 EMA on the 1 hour. So this is more of that undecided. So I'm not taking any trades on NQ or ES at the moment. Now let's take a look at other tickers, see if there's anything or any opportunity. Over here we have the yen, but now the issue with the yen, you see, like, actually this is a perfect example. This, at the moment, I did see this live where I go here, it formed the 3R setup where it formed the fair value gap, it tapped and it went all the way, which I should have probably taken, but it would have cost me like 4 contracts to make $300, and the fees would have been a lot. So it wasn't like a really good exchange of value for me, but I'm just gonna have to wait it out and see what's next here. Okay. Take a look at the other tickers. I'm gonna take a look at the other tickers right now. And let's see. I'm gonna take a look at crude oil. Okay, crude oil might have a play. So one thing that's capturing my interest in crude oil is because of how close this 8 o'clock candle is. If it plays it the right way and doesn't mess around, what it could do is it could form another candle kind of like this. Let me put it on the color. To form right above the zone. So could do one of these and close within the zone. So let's see. I don't know why it's trying to be funny and not stick to anything, but here we go. Could form something like this. Because of that, if we have something like this and it closes underneath this accumulation hourly range, then there's a good chance it'll push down. And the reason why I'm saying that is even though the bullish SAR dot is here, because it's so close to it, there's a good chance that the next hour over is going to flip it from a bullish momentum to a bearish momentum where you'll start to see the dots appear above the candlesticks. So definitely going to have to keep an eye on crude oil. Just going to take that. Just rename this to watch list. Try to see if we can get something on crude. So that's one big one. The NQ, there's nothing there. The HG, there will probably be a good setup soon. The 6E is also not a bad setup. Even though I took a loss on it today, I'm still going to keep it on my watch list just to pay attention to it a little bit more. But as of right now, we're just going to keep checking. And MGC. So MGC, the key thing is to make sure we are catching clean setup. Yeah, my main focus right now is going to be on gold to see what happens in the next hour. So we have about 15 minutes. So with that, I'm just going to get some water and I will be back. Okay, so we got 9 minutes. 9 minutes. So let me make sure I'm properly framed up. Let me make sure I'm properly framed up, and then we're just gonna continue. So one thing I do like about the CL setup is that even though the bullish SAR dots are right underneath it, because it's so close to it, the odds are with the next hour forming, it will flip from the dot being underneath the candle to being on top of the candle. So I'm hoping that in this sequence, it will push up. Then by what would be 9:55, it closes in. If it does that and leaves a fair value gap, that would be a great entry as well. But the only concern is with CL, it is technically a mini. I'll be trading a mini on CL. Sometimes, if the stop loss is pretty big, it would go way beyond my risk of only 150 bucks because I only really have 150 bucks left to trade for the day, and then I have to kind of cut it off until the next session, which would be Asia session. Well, technically it would be New York, but I basically would cut it off for the full day and then go to the Asia session. So we'll see what happens, but we're just going to eye each one, see where I can find an opportunity. And I'm also going to keep an eye also on 6E. There we go. HG is the one that I really want to take advantage of, but that's going to take some time. And then also I want to take advantage of gold. So gold is pretty close. So that's why I was saying before it's kind of concerning because let's just say if the next candle over does not close up, then I'm going to have to wait on gold because then the next candles after that could be it plummeting down. So this is why I'm saying this one is going to be very interesting because this next hour needs to count for something, meaning it needs to sweep this, form that 5 minute fair value gap, and close up by 9:55. If it can do that, then I'm going to have an opportunity to enter and see if we can go all the way above that 100 mark. And shout out to gold. Gold has been on a tear lately. It's been doing very well, and I'm really excited to see how far it will go. Okay, we got 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So that is going to be a big determiner of how I'm going to play each one of these tickers. So I'm just going to be drawing the manipulation hour. So this is accumulation hour. You always draw 1 hour interval right after it, which I like to call the manipulation hour. During this hour, we're going to look and see if we can find a bearish fair value gap that will close inside of this accumulation hour box or range. So that will be for CL. Next one is going to be 6E, which probably has a higher chance of seeing if it will do it. Now, in this case, since it has already just shifted bearish, it's a good chance it will keep plummeting. So I'm just going to take another stab at 6E if it presents itself. Again, it could probably be another loss, but part of this trading strategy is we gotta stick to the game plan no matter what our feelings are at the moment. So I'm just gonna be paying attention to it because there's a good chance that gold might, keep pushing up without giving me an entry, unfortunately. So my last hope is copper. Copper, 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 copper. Well, not last hope. That's kind of an exaggeration, but I definitely am very curious to see if copper is going to give me that clean setup that I can take advantage of. So let's just say copper has been my ace in all of this. So if you go to my stats, and I log into my TradeZella, in all of my funded accounts, at least on the funded stage, that is, if I go to my filter and I look for my symbol, which is going to be HG, MHG, and HG, one, and then HG again. Okay. And I click apply filters. You'll see a bulk of that $6,000 has literally been made on copper. It's like my ace, right? So if I can find a copper trade, you bet I'm gonna really work hard on it because it's just one of my strongest instruments at the moment. So that's why you kind of see me saying copper, 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 copper all the time, right? But with my other tickers, let's just say gold, I've also done okay with gold. So let's see. Gold is going to be GC. And I need to select all four. So GC again. And then GC again. And then GC one more time. Then we're going to apply the filter. And GC accounts for at least $4,426.32 in profit. And then the last one would be the one that I frequently use is NQ. So we're going to go to symbol, click NQ, and then M and Q. And then over that one has about a 2.97 profit factor, made like about 1,000 on that. So as you can probably tell, I do favor the metals a little bit more. And yeah, that's kind of the cool thing about having TradeZella. I can be able to run and check my stats, see how I'm doing. So that's pretty cool. And anyway, let's get back to business and see if we can catch anything. Okay. So really excited about the copper. The gold trade is most likely going to take out that high. If it does, it is what it is. I'm going to put a little alert if it does, just in case. Okay, well, that is running. I'm also going to take a look at SIL. So SIL essentially will follow the same price action as gold. I haven't really gotten an SIL trade, well, that has been saucy. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it though, because you never know. Okay, so we have that. Put SIL. And I'm going to look at this. So you see now in the next hour on the crude oil, how it has put in, what do you call it, a SARS dot at the top. That now represents bearish momentum. So the key thing is I would need it to sweep the bottom. Now it has technically touched it. So whatever it does that way, it has not technically swept it. I tend to skip those plays just because I don't want to have any ambiguity when it comes to a setup like that. So I'm just going to skip on the CL. But let's take a look at the 6E, because 6E may present a clean opportunity. Now, when it comes to gold, it's still doing its thing. 6E is still doing its thing. As you can tell, the star dots are all the way up. So that's good. That means that it's a good chance that this bearish downtrend will have enough momentum to keep going down for a while. So that's exciting. And now we'll take a look at HG. With HG, it's just going to naturally start to pump up. Now, what I'm hoping for is it will do a liquidity grab somewhere so I can enter and see what I need to do. Let's check and see what's going on CNBC. Okay, Dow's futures jump 400 points after Trump says China's situation will be fine. Can you even trust this guy though? U.S. stock futures surged on Monday, rebounding from Friday's sell-off after President Trump said trade relations with China will be all fine. Okay. All right, we'll see, man. We'll see. Don't worry about China. It'll all be fine. Highly respected President. Is it XIC? See? I'm probably butchering it, guys. I just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I, Trump wrote. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. Okay. Regardless, no politics in this channel, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Okay, so as you can see, copper is starting to pick up momentum now. Now, the hope is at some point in time, it can give me an entry. So we'll see if the market does present an entry. If not, we may have to close it off soon. Well, not soon. Maybe I have about 2 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes before I have to start getting ready to go to work. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so basically that just means it has done another liquidity run. Yep, another liquidity run. Oh my gosh. This thing does not give any opportunities right now. Let's see what platinum is doing. Yeah, we just haven't been catching some clean setups yet. Okay, that is going to be interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna check and see if 6E will probably give us another setup. One thing I do like about this setup is this is gonna be the accumulation hour. This right here is gonna be the manipulation hour. So if my assumption is correct, I'm assuming that it will push up. And as soon as it pushes up, I'm gonna see if it will form a 5-minute fair value gap. If it does, we're just going to have to be patient enough to wait for the fair value gap to form. Plus, we also have to wait for it to close underneath here, meaning that whatever candle it forms, it has to be a close. Whether it's a red one or green one, doesn't matter as long as it closes inside of this range after it takes it out. So we'll see. Okay, so now, sorry. Okay, Broadcom stock soars 10% on OpenAI custom chip deal, adding to NVIDIA and AMD agreements. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, over here we have the city target 2026 launch for crypto custody service. All right. And let's see. Okay. So we're taking a look, seeing if there's anything that stands out. Now we're very close to the New York session, the actual New York session, the open. So we're anticipating that during the open, it's going to get a little bit more volatile. And we'll take a look and see how NQ is going to react. And we're going to pay attention. We're going to pay attention to HG, see how it's going to be doing. Now, the only concern with HG is it has a lot of bullish momentum, but sometimes if the bullish momentum is too strong, the odds of getting a sweep underneath it to continue that become a little bit tougher, but we'll just have to wait and see. Out of all the options at the moment, realistically, I am looking to still find an entry on gold, but it's going to be a little bit tougher if it does not sweep the bottoms. It just keeps going and doing liquidity runs at the top, and that isn't my model. So I just have to wait it out, try to see what else we can do here. Take a look at this. That one's fine. NQ still in that weird zone that I don't really like. According to this, it still has bullish momentum. So with this one, still got to stay out of it. This one is a tricky one, but I'm still going to have to keep paying attention to it because this has officially started right here, a bearish momentum. So I'm going to change the accumulation hour from 8 a.m. Eastern to now 9 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to go do this. And now we're going to go over here. Make sure we covered the top. Make sure we covered the top and the bottom of the range. So this is the high. This is the low. So in the low, we have a lot of bullish orders. In the high, we have a lot of selling orders or shorting orders. That's the better way of saying it. So I'm going to go like this. Make sure we draw our 1 hour gap. That usually represents the manipulation hour. And in this sequence, we'd want it to take out this high, form a bearish 5-minute fair value gap, but it also close. So that way it's an official bearish CRT model. That's very important. So we just have to be patient and keep hunting. I'm also looking to 6E as well. I feel like it will do a pop and a drop. So I'm going to keep paying attention to that too. And SIL. I'm surprised that SIL has not gone all the way to the top. That's unique. Okay. I'll be back. I'm just going to put this on mute. Okay, so the New York session has officially started. So we should see some aggressive price action on any of these tickers. So I'm going to be paying attention to all of them. I want to see what will happen next in the next 30 minutes. As you can see, gold is at an incredible 110 points. It's insane, man. It's insane. And the thing about this kind of momentum is it's good, but it's also bad at the same time because it's very hard for me to get an entry, which is very annoying. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man. So let's take a look at NQ. Again, with NQ, it's showing the sword dots. I don't really like that setup. I'm going to really be paying attention to 6E. Even though I took a hit on 6E, it's still going to be where I need to pay my focus and attention on. So we'll see what happens next and see which one is going to give us the entry. Let's see. Okay, so we have about 20 more minutes into the next hour. So that's going to be the 10 to 11 manipulation hour. Now, hopefully, within this upcoming hour, we are going to see a few things. A sweep of the bottom of the rectangle, which represents sell side liquidity sweep. Inside here, what we would ideally want to see is after the sweep, a bullish 5 minute fair value gap, a fill of that 5 minute fair value gap, and it closing above. So if I can see all three, then I'll enter the trade. So, but if I can't see all three by the time I have to get ready to go to work, then what will happen is I'll just have to close the day, and then the record will show that on this day, I took a $140.97 hit. But hopefully we can make up for it in the evening session or the evening Asia session. So that's just how the cookie crumbles. But the idea is I'm not just like hitting the gun like so many trades, so many trades, so many trades, because I want to take advantage of the compounding, which comes by just being patient, waiting for good setups, and then capitalizing on those setups. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, we're about to enter the next new hour in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to take a look at all of these tickers to see if there's any possible setups that I can take advantage of. Now, this hour is going to be important because for me, I at least have to get ready by on my time, which is Central Time, by around 10:15 a.m. at least to start getting ready. And by that time, I may have to close the stream. So we'll see what happens in the next hour. Okay, 3 minutes until we are able to switch to the next hour. So let's see if we can get some clean price action that can favor a bullish or bearish CRT model. Okay, I'm going to take a look and see if we received any chats yet. Nope. Okay, so just out of curiosity, what are you guys on right now? Are you already bullish on gold? I'm assuming you probably are, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna now focus on CL. So CL is gonna probably take our top priority right now, followed by 6E. The reason why I have to shift it up in my priority list is that right now it seems like gold is just gonna perform liquidity run after liquidity run after liquidity run, which is it is what it is. Yep, clockwork. It's gonna take out that high. Let me see. If it does take it out, we don't have to worry about it. But so if it does take it out, we won't have to worry about it. And now what we have to do is really focus on CL. CL probably has a good setup cooking, hopefully. Now I have to pay attention to this right here. So ideally, what's going to have to be the case with CL is I need to wait for a 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Yep, I know. That's the gold and that's the CL. So because the gold just ticked, that one ticked too. This was going to tick as well. So right now I think it's just going to be on a liquidity run. And unfortunately, I don't really trade liquidity runs. So the metals may have to just wait for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm taking a look at the euro as well. Even though I took a hit on the euro, I'm still going to take a look at it and see if it provides me with a good opportunity. So main thing is CL or the euro. Now for CL, here's what we're looking for. We see it has already swept, which is good. Now all we're waiting for is for it to form a 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Now with CL, it gets kind of tricky because it can form it and sometimes just ramp through. So I have to not only wait for that 5-minute bearish fair value gap to form, but I need to have the patience to wait for it to close. So it might mean I might miss on a good trade, but we have to be very strict, especially when it comes to CL of all tickers. This one tends to be kind of like the trickiest, and it's the one that I have to really pay attention to. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, now as it's cooking, I'm going to just be spending a majority of the time on CL. I'll occasionally glance at the other tickers just to see if there's any opportunity. Like if I see a big drop on gold, that might be an opportunity for me to be able to get an entry long, but we just have to wait it out. Okay, now I'm taking a look at CL. We're starting to see it start to form a, what do you call, a shooting star right over here. That's cool and all, but I'm going to have to really pay attention that it closes underneath this range and forms that bearish fair value gap. So I'm really keeping an eye on CL. On 6E, we'll see what happens. If we can get a sweep at the top, that would be perfect for a bearish one, just because then it would align with the 50 EMA and the bearish SAR dots. But I do need it to take out that high off this accumulation hour, which is the 9 a.m. accumulation hour. So we'll see. But if it sweeps to the bottom already, then we'll have to adjust the new accumulation hour or just look for a completely different setup. I'm hoping that gold would at some point take a breather, because it's just been going up and up and up. And I assume that people would at least try to take some profits a little bit, but just keeps the people just buying into gold heavily. So it's not really giving me an opportunity for me to enter using my strategy. Copper is forming something here, but it's not yet complete. So I'll just keep an eye on this. And I'm also going to keep an eye on CL. So it's going to go up there. I hope this really turns to a big red candle just to show that people are doing some profit taking. And then from there, I will try to enter on the dip to go up. Because gold is going to keep going up for sure. But I do need people to start to sell so I can enter into this play at some point. Okay, the way it's going, I may have to switch to CL on my Topstep account. So we're going to go to CL. And I'm going to draw the box. So now, what I'm thinking is that because we have these 1 hour bearish SAR dots and we're underneath the 50 EMA, there's a good chance that hopefully it will form a 5-minute fair value gap, close, and then I can enter on that to try to target the bottom. That would be the play. I have to make sure I'm under 150 bucks. So that's going to be very interesting to see what will happen next. So definitely keep an eye on this one. I like to always kind of take a look at all options just to make sure that I'm catching the best option possible in terms of the setup and the risk to reward. So the setup and the risk to reward. So we'll just see what happens. Okay, let's take a look at CE. So you can see CE is going to go and sweep the bottom. And because it's doing that, it means that I'm going to have to switch my accumulation hour. Yeah, it already swept it to this new hour. So it's going to shift it from 9 to now 10 o'clock. The goal is it needs to sweep the top in order for me to go short. So this has now gone to the bottom of the priority list, and HG is still at the top. CL is still at the top. GC, it depends, because sometimes GC is just not giving me a saucy move yet, but I'll still keep an eye on it. But yeah, 6C has now become the least of my priorities. And right now we still have the M and Q. It's still below. Now you have this bullish dot momentum, which is going to cause it to naturally push up, but yet it's underneath the 1 hour EMA. So in a situation like this, just because I tend to favor these dots a little bit more, I'm just going to make sure I stay away from this trade for right now. It'll most likely form a really, really good CRT setup, maybe to go down, but it's very risky. It's a very risky play to try to short right now on MNQ. So for right now, I'm just going to stay away from it and just stick to seeing if CL will give me an opportunity. Okay, so we're testing it. We want to make sure that everything's good. And when we're doing this, everything should be good, should be on good settings. So let me know, guys, if you are hearing any peaking. Just let me know in the comment box below. So right now, just to kind of give you an overview for CL. With CL, it's about to pump up even more. And ideally, I need to see a bearish fair value gap form. So we're going to take the short position tool. I'm going to place it on the side over here. And we're going to really just stare at this price action just to see if anything is coming up that it's of value that I could take advantage of. Over here, we do have the SIL, which is looking to go up. But right now, at the moment, I'm also paying more attention to GC. So let me remove the drawings on that. And go with this. Mainly whenever we hit 10 o'clock, I'm going to take a look at GC and also take a look at HG just to see if it's going to sweep at the bottom. If it does, awesome. We might have a play. If not, if we don't see a fair value gap form around here, which is from 10, from 11 to 12, 11 here to 12, then I may have to call it a day because at that point I have to be at work. Well, get ready to go to work. So, yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we might get something saucy. And yeah. Right now it's 9:18. I will be back in maybe 15 minutes. So I'm just going to put this microphone on mute and then I will be back. Okay? Because I want to make sure that I get some stuff done before the hour closes. So I'll be right back. I'm going to put it on mute. Okay, I'm back. So right now it's 9:28, so we have 30 minutes until the next hour. So this is going to be the most critical hour because during this time is when I'll need to see if I can catch a setup or not. If I can, that'll be awesome. If not, we'll just have to wait until the next session, which will be in the evening. So we'll just see. We'll just take a look and see what's going on. Now, in this whole thing, you probably may have noticed that I do a lot of waiting. That's the one small drawback of this strategy is you have to sit on your hands until the setup presents itself. And when it does, that's when we go in and execute. But at the moment, it's going to be a little bit on the tougher side. Now, CL is pumping up pretty hard right now. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it, see what it does. Now, as we're waiting, we're on the 10:25 5-minute candle. So we have until 40 or technically 50 to see a bearish fair value gap, and they hopefully can close here right underneath the accumulation range, so that way we can target the bottom. So we'll see if it does present a good setup. If not, it's all good. We'll just keep hunting for better setups. So that's where I'm at the moment. For GC, it's most likely going to pump upwards, just like it's been doing all night. I was hoping it would turn red, but unfortunately it's not. So we'll see what happens next in the next 30 minutes. So we'll just have to be patient. We have to wait it out. And yeah. So right now, as I'm looking at CL, I'm looking to see if it'll form a really strong bearish fair value gap that I can take advantage of. And if it does not form within the manipulation hour, what that means is I'm going to switch to this hour being the new accumulation hour, if possible. But by that time, I don't know if I'll have enough time to do that because I do have to get ready at some point. So we'll see. It's on that pricey side. I may have to switch to MCL. Yeah, I may have to switch to MCL on this one if I'm going to try to short, because I still want to be respecting my risk for the day. So let's see. I'm going to put MCL just in case. if we are going to attempt to do a short on MCL, I need to do a quick check to see how much it'll cost me per contract, because that can be kind of expensive if I am buying a ton of micro contracts on CL. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to go here, just take a look and see what we're working with, and just make sure that everything is correct. So we are going to go to this link right here, which will show me all the prices that I need. I'm going to Control F, MCL. So that's 104. So 104. Okay, 104. It's not bad. It's not bad. So 104. 104 per micro contract. Okay. So for me to try to hit closer to ideally 300, I would have to probably wrap it up to about maybe at least six contracts, so that would be around 120. Okay. Might have to do that. Okay. So I'll go target between 5 to 6 micro contracts. Preferably maybe just 5. But we just got to pay attention to this spot right here. This is a very important spot for me. So I'm just going to click exit. And we're going to now really just pay attention to what it shows. Now, the reason why I'm really paying attention to here is I want to see if it'll form that bearish 5-minute fair value gap, because once it taps it in, I'm locked in for the trade. Whether it's going to be a stop out or take profit, that all depends on what happens. But the idea is, as long as I'm locked in or tagged in, is what I usually like to call it, then that will initiate my short to the bottom of the 9 a.m. accumulation hourly range. So this is go time. And let's see what it's showing. So that's one. And then on the HG is going to most likely keep flying. This is a sequence where it just keeps going up and up and up. And it just doesn't favor my entry model when it's just too aggressive like this. So it is what it is. And if I don't catch a trade, we'll just have to pause and wait till the next hour. I'm just hoping that the CL will be the one, but there are no guarantees, because anything can happen when you do this trading stuff. So right off the bat, it is starting to form that bearish fair value gap. And this is one of those situations where I might jump the gun a little bit, just a little bit, just because as soon as it fills, it might fill it in a way where I don't want to miss, right? That would be the key thing. But I have to practice it's technically not a fair value gap. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why I said that was a fair value gap. I was wrong. Sorry, guys. I made a mistake on that. That's not a fair value gap yet. This is where we're going to see if it will form a fair value gap. So we have to still be patient. The play is still going. And we'll see if it forms that fair value gap. So we're here, we're testing, we're being patient, we're practicing our discipline. Because the way the metals are going, I don't think there will be any opportunity for me to enter on a dip, because everyone keeps buying the dip immediately. So in that kind of sequence, I'm going to mainly focus on crude oil, see if it'll give me something. Now when it comes to 6E, let's see if there's any play there. Isn't really any play that fits my model on this one. So the best possible option at the moment is going to be CL. So CL is going to take the top priority now. I'm also going to be taking a look and seeing if we have an opportunity on 6J. 6J sometimes does present some clean opportunities, but we'll see what it does. We'll just keep taking a look and just seeing. There is copper. Gold keeps flying. Silver keeps flying. 6E keeps dropping, but it's not giving me an entry style that I like. So the only one that's looking decent is CL, but it hasn't given me any opportunities yet. So we just have to keep being patient and see if it will give us an opportunity. Okay, we're getting closer to about 15 minutes until the next hour. So let's take a look at CL again. So right now it's consolidating. So it could probably be most likely consolidating to form a new higher high. Now we are at the 1040 mark. So ideally, when I start to see the 1045 candle, that's going to be important. 1045 and the 1050 to see if it will form a bearish fair value gap. So we'll kind of have to play by ear, see what we get. Now with something like this, it going all the way up, it's most likely not gonna close underneath here. So we just have to see what happens. So that is the 1040. And so we're going to be paying attention to the 1045. So the 1045 is going to be very important. I ideally want to see it kind of go down a little bit and not go up as much. But yeah, if it can go underneath, that would be perfect. At least start to push towards here. But then that 1050 candle is going to be important if this is truly, a bearish 1 hour CRT model. It needs to push down before 1055. So that is the main focus, because if we can get 1055 to close here, and in that process between those three candles, 45, 50, and 55 form a bearish fair value gap, then we have a play. But if it can't do that, then we may have to skip the play. Okay? So we're just taking a look, see what it shows. And yeah, so that's going to be leading towards the 10 o'clock hour. It is literally peaking. I'm assuming at some point people need to sell something, right? But that's the crazy thing about the market. The market can do whatever it wants. It can do whatever it wants. That's just the way the market works. So because of that, I'm going to have to be patient and just wait to see if there's any opportunity. If there is, great. But if it cannot close here, then the next candle over will most likely push through. And if that's the case, there's no play. And if there's no play, we won't force anything to happen. So this is like kind of like, let's say, do or die kind of situation. So we will see if it forms a bearish fair value gap, ideally a very strong one that can at least close over here. If it does, then I can justify taking the trade. If it does not, then can't really do anything at that point. Okay, so we're just taking a look at it. Based on how it's moving, I feel like it will most likely perform a liquidity run. So it'll blow past this most likely, but that's slim chance that it will still hold. But we'll see. Gold is bullish. Silver is bullish. And no one seems to want to sell the positions. So there's going to be a very strong bullish run today, which I anticipated, but I was hoping I could get some sort of entry for using my model. So I guess today just did not provide, but there's always tomorrow, or technically tonight, because I'll probably be trading tonight after work to see if there's any setup that I can take advantage of. Okay, this is going to be the make it or break it hour. So we're about to get that 950 candle, the very important candle. So if this 950 candle does not perform a bearish 5-minute fair value gap, then this essentially is now a good bearish CRT setup. So it all depends on this right here. So that's 49 still. We're inching closer. I just need 50 to form a really strong bearish displacement, so that way when the 55 closes, we can have a possible bearish CRT model to the downside. Okay, candle 50, what are you going to do? So I need to kind of switch to here because we're going to be using MCL on this play. And then we need to set up everything so that way we are ready just in case. Now it's pretty slim that it'll close underneath, but if it were to do it and form a fair value gap, then I'm willing to take that chance. But realistically, I think it will just keep pumping. It just seems like it's just too strong. So we will see. Yeah, I don't think it will go all the way down because the way it's pumping and you only have 1 minute and 47 seconds to go, it's most likely going to keep accumulating the orders to push up, which is fine, but let's just see. You have 1 minute and 33 seconds. So it's pretty close to it, which does make it seem plausible that it could close, but it's going to be kind of unlikely if it can't drop the price. Like this candle is very important for my strategy because that would mean that if it can close or even get real close, then the next candle over has a good chance to lock in. And that would give me the permission that I need in order to short the stock. But until that sequence happens, I have to kind of sit on my hands. But the way it's moving, the way it's pumping, I don't know if we'll be able to see that. So 48 seconds, 45 seconds to go. Okay, about 30 seconds to go. Let's see if this 9 or 1050 candle will form that bearish displacement that I really would like to see. And it's gonna be a no bueno. Oh, okay, come on. Come on. Ah. Okay. No play. No play. Okay. So that basically means it's gonna most likely go push up. And if it goes and pushes up, basically the trade is over. But that's okay. We have one more hour left. So Copper Man, it would be nice if you could just sweep this bottom. So that way we can at least have something for the day. But it all depends on gold. Gold has just been pumping, man. And I don't see it going down anytime soon because it just keeps pumping and pumping and pumping, which is good, but also bad at the same time because it doesn't give us an opportunity or doesn't give me an opportunity for me to enter because I gotta follow my model. And because I have to follow my model, I'm essentially doing a lot of waiting. So the hour is about to close in about 3 minutes and 53 seconds. So with that being said, if, let's say, for example, gold, copper, and silver sweep the top, we're going to close the trading session for the day. And I will just wait until the evening session because I don't want to force any trades today. I just want to follow my trading plan. Now, this is a tricky one. MNQ. I hate this because I know it's probably not our best. But let's see. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks a lot. Sucks a lot because the thing about it is, yes, though it's bearish on the 50 EMA, I can't enter that trade because the SAR dots are going up. So it's like a conflict of interest, which is very frustrating sometimes, but I have to kind of stick to a consistent system because if I don't, then it becomes a problem. So unfortunately, this thing will most likely take a tumble and gold and copper will probably be pumping up. Kind of sucks, but I have to follow my trading plan. So in this scenario, what will happen is I just have to just sit and watch. Yep. Just sit and watch. I just wish that the candle, I wish the SAR dots were up here. You know, one of the frustrating things about following your trading plan is that sometimes you feel like you're missing out on good plays. But as you've seen, even when I took a look at my TradeZella and took a look at my performance data, you'll see that even though I don't necessarily have the highest win rate, this average win to loss ratio has led to a high profit factor. So it's important for me to just be consistent and simply trust the process. However, because of time, this is going to be the last hour we're going to focus on. As a recap, if it sweeps the top of the copper 10 a.m. range, gold 10 a.m. range, or silver 10 a.m. range, I'm most likely going to close the setup because at that time I probably will be needing to get ready to go to work. So, yeah, that's mainly it. Okay. So it's about to begin in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last hour. Let's put down the system. Let's see what it does. So we're going to now switch the chart from copper, from CL, and then it's going to go up. Just trying to see if there's any fair value gap that it'll try to attack. Probably not. So with that being said, we're just going to switch to MGC over here for right now as we're trying to look for a setup. So we're going to go on the hourly, and on the hourly, we are going to draw this. So as you can see, it's most likely trying to keep pumping those numbers, which is fine. I'm just kind of surprised that no one is selling. Like, there's not been a massive sell on gold considering it has pumped up so much. That was kind of crazy. So everyone's on a gold euphoria right now, which is great for gold, but not great for us. So, yeah. Okay, right now I'm looking at gold, and it seems like it's going to take out the buy stops on the 10 a.m. accumulation hour, just with the momentum of that bearish candle. So if it sweeps, we might have an entry soon. So we're going to really pay attention to gold and see, how it's going. Give me just a minute. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. For right now, I have a few things I need to attend to. So the odds are I'm not going to really be able to see my setup within this time frame. So that will just close the stream. We're going to cap it off tonight. So in order for me to make sure I do not try to revenge trade while I'm at work, I'm going to go to my settings. We're going to set that lockout. And then we're going to set it for all day. So we're going to lock me out. So this means that today we took our loss of $140.97. Hopefully tonight we'll be able to catch a clean trade that I can take advantage of. But it's important for me to do this. So I've locked out my leader account and I've locked out my follower account. So we'll just keep staying focused on the mission. Inevitably, we will find a good trade. It's just today, I just couldn't get an entry. So it is what it is. This wraps up the stream. And yeah, peace.